There is a place on Earth where the sun has never shone, not once, in 4 billion years. It is so deep, so dark, and so cold that scientists assumed for centuries that nothing could live there. They were wrong, catastrophically wrong. Down there in the absolute darkness live creatures so bizarre that when scientists first saw them, they genuinely questioned if they were real. By the end of this video, you will never look at the ocean the same way again. And if this blows your mind, hit subscribe, because we find the wildest facts on Earth every week. First, let's understand just how deep we are talking about. The ocean has 5 layers. Most life, everything you have ever seen in a nature documentary, lives in the top 2. Below 1,000 meters, sunlight disappears completely, forever. The deepest point, the Mariana Trench, is 11 kilometers down. If you dropped Mount Everest into the Mariana Trench, the peak would still be more than a mile underwater. The pressure at the bottom is 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It would crush a human body instantly like an empty can. The temperature is just above freezing, between 1 and 4 degrees Celsius, all the time. No light, crushing pressure, near freezing temperatures, zero food falling from above. And yet, life, everywhere, down there. Not just surviving, thriving, in ways that rewrite the entire rulebook of biology. And some of these creatures will genuinely make you feel like you are watching science fiction. Meet the anglerfish, the creature that nightmares borrow ideas from. It lives in complete darkness, so it evolved its own light. That glowing lure dangling above its head, it contains millions of bioluminescent bacteria. Other creatures in the darkness see the light and swim toward it. That is the last mistake they ever make. The anglerfish can open its mouth wide enough to swallow prey twice its own size. Its stomach can stretch to 3 times its normal size to accommodate the meal. But the most disturbing fact about the anglerfish is how it reproduces. The male anglerfish is tiny, 10 times smaller than the female. When a male finds a female, he bites into her skin and never lets go. Over time, his body fuses completely with hers. They share the same bloodstream. He loses his eyes, his internal organs, everything except the parts needed to reproduce. He becomes a permanent part of her body forever. That is what scientists call parasitic mating. One female anglerfish was found with 6 males fused to her body. The deep ocean invented things evolution had no reason to try anywhere else. Wait, before we continue, did you know there is an animal literally called the vampire squid? Its scientific name literally translates to vampire squid from hell. It is not actually a squid. It is not actually an octopus. It is the only surviving member of its own ancient order. When threatened, it does not squirt ink. It squirts a cloud of glowing blue mucus. The glow confuses predators in the darkness, and it can keep glowing for 10 minutes. Now meet the zombie worm. Its real name is Ozdax, and it eats bones. When a whale dies and sinks to the ocean floor, the zombie worm is waiting. It drills directly into the whale's bones using acid it produces itself. It has no mouth, no stomach. It absorbs nutrients directly through root-like structures in the bone. A single whale skeleton can feed a zombie worm colony for over 100 years. The deep ocean has figured out how to waste absolutely nothing. But wait, we need to talk about the creature that actually figured out how to live forever. The Turritopsis dohrnii, or as scientists call it, the immortal jellyfish. When this jellyfish gets old, or sick, or injured, it does something no other animal on Earth can do. It reverses its own aging, completely, and becomes young again. Not metaphorically, its cells literally revert to their earliest state, like pressing rewind on life. Scientists call this process transdifferentiation. It is the only known case in nature. In theory, this jellyfish could live forever, cycling through youth and old age indefinitely. Scientists are studying it right now to understand human aging. The answer to human immortality might be hiding inside a tiny jellyfish in the deep ocean. And here is the part that should genuinely excite you: we have barely explored down there. Less than 20% of the ocean floor has been mapped. Less than 5% has been explored in detail. We have better maps of the surface of Mars than of our own ocean floor. Which means almost certainly, there are creatures down there we have never seen, never even imagined. Now here is where things get completely mind-bending. Stay with me. At the very bottom of the Mariana Trench, scientists found something they still cannot fully explain. Hydrothermal vents, cracks in the ocean floor that pump out water at 400 degrees Celsius. That water should boil instantly, but the pressure is so extreme it cannot form bubbles. It stays liquid. Around these vents in 400-degree darkness, entire ecosystems thrive. These creatures do not use sunlight to survive. They use chemical energy from the vents. This discovery in 1977 completely changed our understanding of where life can exist. Before 1977, we thought life needed sunlight. Period. Full stop. End of story. After 1977, everything changed. Life needs energy, not necessarily sunlight. Which means life could exist under the ice of Europa, under the surface of Mars, on worlds we assumed were dead. A creature living in total darkness at the bottom of Earth's ocean expanded the possible locations of life in the entire universe. That is how important this dark, cold, crushing place actually is. Okay, we saved the best and worst for last. Meet the barrel-eye fish. It has a completely transparent head. You can see directly into its skull while it is alive and swimming. Those two green cylinders inside its head, those are its eyes, pointing upward, always. It waits in darkness looking upward watching for the shadow of prey passing above. Then it rotates its eyes forward and strikes. For decades scientists thought those two dots on the front of its face were its eyes. They were not, they were nostrils. Now meet the stoplight loosejaw fish. It produces red light which is invisible to almost every other creature in the ocean. It is the only creature down there that can see in red light, so it hunts using a torch that only it can see. It evolved its own private light spectrum that makes it effectively invisible to predators and prey alike. Evolution in the deep ocean did not follow the same rules as everywhere else. It wrote completely new ones. So the next time you look at the ocean, remember this. What you see on the surface is maybe 5% of what is actually there. Below you right now, anglerfish are luring prey with their own built-in lights. Immortal jellyfish are cycling through life and death and life again. Vampire squids from hell are glowing blue in the darkness. And zombie worms are slowly eating through whale bones that have been down there for decades. All of this happening right now in the darkest place on Earth. And we have explored less than 5% of it, which means the best discoveries are still coming. The creatures that rewrote the rules of life are still down there, waiting to be found. If this blew your mind, subscribe, because next week we're going even deeper, literally. And drop a comment, what creature from this video would you least want to meet in the dark? See you next week, in the dark.